Absence there, sorry about that. We're having all sorts of problems again, but you join us right at a break here. It's a penalty. It's a good time to Kettering. The ball was lofted in by Dan Holman. A flaying hand went up, and it's going to be a penalty to the Poppies. Of course, this isn't necessarily a good thing for Kettering, but it's Rhys Honus over the ball. It's Kettering's 21st penalty of the season, matching last season's record of 21. And we've scored 15 of those, 6 in the league here at Latimer Park as Honus steps up, takes it, sent one the wrong way, and 1-0 to the Poppies.
Well, plenty of pressure so far today, Paul, and finally Kettering are rewarded with the goal, justly deserved. It was one of those strange handball decisions, really. It looked as though Dan Holman had overhit the cross, and I couldn't quite see who it was on the far post. It was just sticking an arm out when they didn't really need to stick an arm out.
Yeah, but he was going harmlessly by, wasn't it? And he somehow got his hand to it, and referee immediately gave the penalty to Kettering, which has been a bit of an Achilles heel for them in recent weeks. But Honus dispatched that rather well, sending Harding the wrong way. Harding, of course, did save a penalty in his second game, so he's no mug. But that is his 6th goal as well, penalty that Honus has scored this season, as the visitors get us back underway and put it straight out for a throw-in. We'll try and bring you some more scores from the other games if and when we can, but nothing at the moment. Hopefully they're all 0-0, or Royston have gone ahead, we don't know. But a throw into Kettering. It's flicked on by Richards, but cut out by Norville Williams. He finds Beckley, beaten to it by Mills. He flicks the ball out to Kelly on the far side. Meikle, Mills and Holman in front of him. So is Honus, who's pointing where he wants the ball. Doesn't get it. Meikle can't get there, and Mason Riney punts the ball out for a throw into Kettering. Of course, this is Aaron O'Connor's last game of his suspension. He's down here in front of us in a nice warm Barker. But it's Towers now with the ball. He finds Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans into the St Neots half. Plays it wide to Storer. Storer got a bit of room to run through. Plays it to Honus. Honus back to Mills. Chests it down. Flicks it on to Storer. Got 2 round him. And gives the ball away. Riney gets it to Norville Williams. Puts a ball through, but Towers gets the ball to Storer, who falls down. Mills and Holman in there with the goalkeeper. And it was Holman who came second best, as Jack Harding came right out to collect that ball, and has done rather well in goal since he's had pulled off 2 very, very good saves in the opening 15 minutes. On another day, Kettering will be 3 goals ahead, but at the moment just the 1. Put out of play. That's hit the gantry top.
Power's gone.
Comes into throw-in. Mills trying to shoot down. Powers can header to him to Storer. Down by Mason Ryan to kick. Foul there, Richards there on Joe Sutton. And told Richards to wait. It's on the ankle of Joe Sutton. And referee having a word with Richards. Don't think he's going to go into the book yet. He's
yet.
But, he hasn't done so yet. It's going to be a free kick. It's Norville Williams over it. Just inside it.
Back on.
1-0 to the Poppies. Norville Williams over the ball into the penalty area. That's going to miss everybody. Sheffield out by Kelly, and that will be a goal kick.
Apologies, we had a power outage over here, but as Kettering scored in the 17th minute, your VG bet there should be 1 and 30 minutes. So if you take your programme along to any VG event store, you're entitled to a £5 bet.
Kelly on the far side plays it long for Holman to chase, but that should be beaten by Stephen Shaw. It is, but he only gives it back to Meikle. So I give up. Continue.
Stanley in a challenge there on the far side, just flicks it off the St Neots midfielder, Harry Beckley, and that will be a throw-in for throwing for Kettering on the far side, which Marcus Kelly will take to Craig Stanley, who squares it to Declan Towers. Declan Towers looking for movement on this side, finds Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans has to check back inside, plays it back to Declan Towers, who switches the ball across again to Craig Stanley on the far side. Ball forward this time to Lyndon Meikle, inside turns, looking to play it forward, and Rhys Onis nips in behind Riney, trying to come into the penalty box, still doing well, gets the cross in, and it's deflected, and that will go for another corner for Kettering Town, this time on the far side. And it's going to be Ben Milnes jogging across to take it.
Not working, it's an absolute farce. Had this problem last week.
Ben Milnes puts the ball down on the spot, raises his right arm, crosses it in to the front post, looking for Rhys Onis, but headed away by Joe Hood, out for a throw-in. Throw-in taken quickly. Ball has come back to Marcus Kelly, all the way back to the halfway line. Dion Kelly Evans looking to play it long. Hoists the ball forward, looking for Michael Richards, who gets the flick on. And it's Shaw with the header away, only half away though. Dan Holman with his back to goal, comes back to Declan Towers, who'd come forward for the original free kick. Kelly Evans with the long ball back into the penalty box under pressure, and Richards gets his head to it, trying to find Dan Holman. He can only get his toe to it and can't divert the ball on target.
Well, that was interesting there. I thought...
And ball is back in St Neots' half, and Kettering looking to create yet another opportunity with Lyndon Meikle, this time being shepherded well by Mason Riney, but finds the ball to Gary Storer. Gary Storer tackled by Hood, and yet another corner. I'm losing track of how many corners we've had here this afternoon. 7, Mr Cook tells me, whose microphone is playing up somewhat this afternoon. So apologies for my efforts compared to the master. I am but the apprentice. Kettering, Ben Milnes gets the cross in, and it's away, and there was some pushing in the penalty box, I think by Declan Towers. The referee blows his whistle. Some respite for St Neots, and they've certainly been under the cosh from minute 1 this afternoon. Conceded 1. Could well have conceded at least another 1 or 2 goals this afternoon. Kettering certainly pressing for more. And it's going to be Harding that clears from his own penalty box into the Kettering half. Towers rises very well. Milnes half clears, but he finds Gary Storer, plays the ball long. Intercepted by Dunnett, but only as far as Meikle in the centre circle. Plays the long ball out to the right-hand side. Can Storer keep it in? No, he can't. Just got away from him, skipping off this firmer surface here at Latimer Park. Norville Williams it will be with the throw-in. Halfway in his own half, reaches the halfway line. Milnes plays the ball forward, looking for Dan Holman. Dan Holman being shepherded by Dunnett into the corner, and it's a throw-in for St Neots. Norville Williams getting in a bit of throwing practice this afternoon on this near side, but a good header from Michael Richards.
Well, now I'm going to get the microphone fixed, I think. I think that was definitely a penalty.
Yeah, definitely.
Stonewall penalty, and once again Kettering been denied having scored a penalty earlier on, but Richards gets the ball on the far side to Kelly. The bench down here in uproar with that decision, but it's still 1-0 to Kettering as Gary Ford said. We hear that Royston have taken an early lead over Stourbridge. Ball with Storer. He's got Kelly Evans on the wide. He can't get there. Norva Williams, but he gets it on the second attempt to Evans. Plays it to Storer. Storer turns. He's got nobody with him. Has to use Evans again. He flicks it in towards Mills. Mills chests it down the penalty area. Flicks it through. It's still Mills' handball. And that bounced up, really. And Mills couldn't do much about it.
If you find it goes off again, just make sure that's plugged in.
What? It was earlier. We should get out and put it back in again. So it's... Well.
Kick from the
Write down what stuff we need, because we need to get a real, you know, it's...
A brand new mixer now for the ground.
Against Stourbridge, going in the 24th.
Well, that's good news, but... a bit of well, I think it was the actual challenges, wasn't it, that was going on. Marcus Law there was very unhappy. They're having to go at the linesman still, but play on as St Neots get the ball with Ryder. Cries of handball, but it's put in high. Paul White here may have to do something, and it is a goal kick. Marcus Law telling the referee to get a grip. I did miss one word out there, of course.
Strange decisions so far today. Full back in play. Dan Holman loses out at the time to Miles, but Linda Meek saving away and winning the ball back. Tries Reese Hurnis, tries to lay it off to Dan Holman. Bad clearance from Harding in goal there, but unfortunate that it escaped. Kettering got the ball back already. Michael Richards is making tracks.
Get in the box! Get in the box! On his back foot! Get him on his back foot! No, get Reese!
Well, Kettering certainly having all the possession of the ball. Only got one goal out of it so far. Need to capitalise on this, and it's a very good ball to Kelly Evans if he can keep it in. It's down by the byline. He just keep it in. It's low. Norvell Williams gets there. So does Honus, though. Wins it off him. Honus on the byline. Still Honus. Gives it to Kelly Evans. Back post. Nobody there. Goes straight to Meikle. He's got to go out wide, but the penalty area. He does. He comes inside. Tries a shot. Comes in and headed over by Stephen Shaw. I think Harding may have caught that, but it's a corner to Kettering. Number 8.
Penalty box for St Neots defending. Pretty much been one-way traffic, but Kettering have only got the one goal. We know the old story about one goal in football not being enough at times. They're desperate to try to get to the second to show them the push. Ball is bouncing around in the penalty box. Back out for Reese Howes. Crossing on the side went away from Wood, who completes his clearance.
Well, Reese Hurnis would have felt that on the barren surface. I bet he got a few scrapes there. Carpet burns, I think it was called, isn't it? But he's still down, his Honus. It must have hurt him. Come off worse, yeah. Yeah, he's using that bounce back quite a bit now, aren't we? Bounce back ability, bounce back, bounce B. You know, it's. Yes, it has got into that teenager sort of bracket of having them down by the ankles, isn't it?
Yeah,
Less said about that, the better. But he's still hobbling around his Honus. So we'll see how he goes. Norville Williams then with the free kick. Kelly wins it as Miles underneath it. He wins it, beats Beckley to it, and out comes Kettering. It's on the far side with Holman. He flicks the ball on, but it comes off Hood for a Kettering Town throw-in. And in fact, it's not a Kettering Town throw-in, so it must have come off Holman. It's going to be Hood that's going to take this exactly on the halfway line. Sun beaming out here at Latter Park. Not often we say that, is it?
No, definitely not.
Compared to the last time we were on this gantry, we were nearly blown away. It's a chase here for Holman. Harding's come well out of his area, has to play the ball wide, and he'll do well to keep this in with Norville Williams. He can't. If the goalkeeper had missed that, he was cruelly exposed, but he didn't. Was good sweeping. It's a throw-in taken by Kelly Evans to Towers, who allows it to bounce over him. He plays it back to Paul White. And he puts it forward to Stanley. Stanley comes inside the centre of the park, plays it to Richards. Rather bobbly surface, of course, here. And it's back with Stanley. Not a lot of options for him, and he finds Meikle. Meikle plays it to Mills. Mills to Holman. Holman turns well, flicks it on to Meikle on the far side. Meikle puts the ball in here, and goalkeeper Harding comes out and stops that reach in Honus, who was hobbling his way to him. He's behind the goalkeeper. Not that old one. He's behind you. No, he's not. But Harding rolls the ball out to Norvell Williams. It reaches Riney. He finds Dunnett. But Dunnett's long ball cut out by Kelly. He squares it to Stanley, who in turn does the same thing to Towers. And Towers completes the 4 to Kelly Evans here on this right-hand side. It pumps it forward, but Norvell Williams, it comes off the ponytail towards Mason Riney. Storer flicks it on, though, towards Honus. Honus now with a chance, chests it down at an acute angle, comes in and can only put it into the hands of Jack Harding from a very, very acute angle in the 6-yard box. Towers wins the header to Ben Milnes. It goes to Norville Williams, who gets it to Sutton. Sutton turns. Church, our next visitors away from home, and powering header. This one was just into the empty net.
Yeah, nodding Towers, and that's great news for Kettering getting that second goal. They've continued to strive to get that second goal. They've been playing with urgency from the first minute today. If they carry on doing that this afternoon, then we can only see one result.
Well, it's Kettering again on the attack, and it's Meikle trying to find Holman, but it's cut out by Hood on the far side. It's come off Ben Milnes for a throw-in. I think 7 or 8 minutes to go this first half. Kettering 2-0. Eventually, you're listening to us. We had a few problems early on. when you don't play at home regularly, and our conditions of our electrics seem to be a bit strange. 2 balls on, and actually it is 0 and Stratford 0, Kings Lynn 1, St Ives 0, Alvechurch 1. There's all the sides that involve Kettering. Kings Lynn doing well at Stratford. There with Kettering reserves over there at Stratford. But again, we're interested in not only this one where Kettering are winning, but keep our eyes on the Royston result as well. So as we come towards half time, everything is tickety-boo to a certain extent as Marcus Kelly comes away with the ball. He finds Meikle, back to Kelly from Meikle, takes a touch, plays that back to Stanley. Stanley Towers bobbles around in front of Towers, but he controls the ball. He takes a look up, tries it through towards Holman, head on there by the number 4 and just cleared anywhere by St Neots. Reeve Clark could only get the ball to Honus, who plays it back to, and we just seen the board that Mount Lewis holding up. 2 minutes added time, and let's see if Kettering can get one in 2 minutes as Holman loses the ball to Matt Miles, who puts the ball out. Holman runs over quickly to get it. He gives it to Kelly. Marcus Law urging the players to get another goal. It's Ben Milnes. He finds Holman. Holman takes a touch, but it's beaten to it. And Mason Riney comes away for St Nick. Like it hit his hand, and the St Neots bench thinking that that's a blatant handball from Paul White out the area, and nothing given. And catching it away with that one, it's Kelly Evans with the ball. Towers squares it to Milnes. Milnes to Maurice Thora. The St Neots bench. Interesting language coming out with that decision, but really they're clutching at straws as the ball is with Marcus. Squares it to Richens. Richens takes a touch, plays himself out of danger, gets it to Stanley. Stanley puts it back to Richens, who I don't think really wanted it, but he nods it forward, gets it to Kelly. Kelly comes inside, still Kelly with the ball. Plays it long towards Storer in the penalty area. It comes off his chest. Norva Williams has to put the ball out, and this should be Kettering corner before half time. This could be the last action of the first half of St Neots bench barking out their frustration with that decision, and I'm not sure that was a bit unfortunate if that had been given, but we've seen them given before, I suppose. But a corner to the Poppies. Marcus Kelly to take it. In it comes, in swing in their back post. There's a bit of a confusion. It ends up with Honus. Heavy touch from Honus, and Matt Miles allows that to go out, and that's the end of the action for the first half. It ends up here, first half Kettering Town 2, St Neots 0. A very good first half from Kettering. They've had all the possession of the play, really. Possibly could be 2 or 3 more goals up. Some good saves from Jack Harding early doors. 2 very, very good saves. Paul White not had a lot to do, and we just heard now that Royston have increased their lead to 2-0. So 2-0 as it stands at the moment. Well, we're going to take a break for a few moments, well, about 15 minutes actually, and we'll be back with you in the second half, and we'll see what we can do there. At the moment then, 2-0. Park. 0 to the Poppies. 17th minute goal by Reese Honus, a penalty. And Declan Towers, almost a free header at the back post for the second goal. We know where we are, but the ball back with Mills now from the kick-off. It's on the far side now to Kelly Evans. Kettering fans find their voice. I say, it looks a very impressive filled tin hat end, and the Brian Martin's pallet end is deserted. Plays it to Meikle. Meikle takes a touch. Has got Kelly behind him, who he uses. Kelly gets it tangled a little bit in his feet, gets it back to Towers. That's right. The ball for. Nothing wrong with my socket.
Got a few problems this afternoon with it, but we're going to persevere. The old 1, 2, 6. Microphone's not working. We'll utilise it. Try and keep broadcasting as long as we can.
Well, we do have the attendance today, and this is going to be met with bated breath from quite a few people on this gantry. John Dunham also had a guess as well, but I can say that my guess of 702 is absolutely nowhere near. It's far lower than that. No, it isn't. It is the attendance today, 894. 894. So a very, very good attendance indeed. As Marcus Law claps at that end, chanting out his name. Marcus Kelly gets the ball. Beats two of them very well indeed. Thought about playing it towards Sora, switches it to the far side to Kelly Evans, who chests it down. He's now running at the St Neots, plays a back flick, and that's cut out by Mason Riney, who's found Joe Ryder. And Kettering's advancement stopped, but the ball back with Richards. Does a double shuffle and goes forward, pumps the ball forward towards Holman. The flag is raised, and usually we say O'Connor offside, but now it's Kettering haven't made any substitutions in the second half so far. Throwing taken by Kelly to Stanley, to Meikle. Meikle back to Towers. Towers plays it forward to Ben Mills on the far side. He plays a long ball towards Kelly Evans, who's under pressure. He's got two around him. Plays the ball back to Mills. Mills to Meikle. Meikle now with a bit of space. Might try a shot. Puts the ball in, and it's a poor little chip from Meikle, actually. Ben Mills does well, but intercepted by Clark. And away come... No, they don't. It is Stanley who intercepts, gets the ball to Kelly Evans. He flicks it through, but again, St Neots get the ball. Norvell Williams. It's just a pump forward towards Sutton. No danger there as Storer intercepts Kettering again. Mount another attack towards Holman. Holman does well. Turns one way, turns the other. Still with the ball, plays it square to Meikle. Meikle puts it back to Holman. Holman might try a shot, can't get it away. He's got 3 or 4 around him. And that should have been a foul on Holman, but nothing given. And the number 9, Joe Ryder, loses the ball. Away comes Meikle. And he's been fended off there. Unbelievable. Mason Riney elbowed and pushed Meikle, yet the referee has given it the other way. I have to say that the St Neots coach's comments are quite correct. The referee is useless. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. We've seen it all. Handballs not given, fouls not given, decisions going the other way. And there we are, the referee having a word with Lyndon Meikle for doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah, yet another strange decision to add to the list from the referee.
Well, he's given him a lecture. I don't know if it's ordering a pint or he's having a meal with him later, but...
Lyndon Meikle quite rightly wanted a thorough explanation from the referee, and he's been given one.
Marcus Law is exasperated by the referee, telling him what's that for, dribbling with the ball, but it's headed on, and Paul White has to come out, and that's probably the most exertion that Paul White's had to do all game so far. He delivers the ball towards Honus. It won't reach him, it reaches Hood, flicked on there, but it arrives at Kelly's chest. Kelly chests it down, gets it to Ben Mills on the halfway line. Rather poor ball actually to Kelly Evans. It was the wrong side of him, but he gets the ball to Towers. Towers to Mills. Mills plays it back to Towers. Kettering being forced back a little bit, but squared to Stanley. Stanley shins it to Kelly. It's back with Stanley. Now it's with Mills. A lot of shouting going on from both sides, but not a lot of advancement from Kettering. Kelly in two minds there, but gets it to Rhys Honus. That goes back to Meikle. Meikle pumps the ball forward for Kelly. Hood should win this though, but Kelly is maybe in front of him. He has. He's done well. He's got no help though. Honus is now going towards him. Wants the ball, gets it. Honus comes inside towards Meikle. The bobble doesn't help Meikle though, and St Neots get the ball away as Hood gets the ball away, but only towards Towers. Towers squares it to Ben Mills, and Kettering mounted yet another attack going forward. Mills trying to find Honus, and that should go out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes has gone fairly flat this game. Kettering have been up until that point pursuing a third goal, but still looking for that third goal.
The substitution coming on.
Third one is coming on. And Prince is coming on. Prince, number 12.
Coming on for Joe Ryder, yes.
Yeah,
Mutsawanga.
Mutsawanga
is Prince Mutsawanga. Well, that's something on for Pink Floyd album. Gumma, wasn't it? I know, hadn't I? Prince Mutsawanga Gumma. We'll call him Prince. There we go. So, oh, one of these days. But it's a kick by Phillip, and it goes straight out into the stand over the far side for a Kettering Town throw-in. Towers, yeah, the urgency seems to have gone in this game at the moment, and Kettering have acquitted themselves to what they need to do. And Kelly plays it back to Stanley has to hurriedly get the ball to Towers. That could have been a slip there. Towers taking his time, pumps the ball forward, doesn't get to Kelly. It comes to Riney instead. He plays it long, but that should go out of play. It will be a throw-in on the right-hand side. So what was it, Prince Mutsawunga, formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, that's formerly a symbol.
So it's a throw-in to Marcus. Kelly's going to take it. Guess it's to Stanley. Stanley back to Kelly. Kelly goes forward, being tugged back, but nothing given by the referee. It's back with Stanley. Stanley squares it to Towers. Towers with a bit of space to run in the centre of Kettering's half. Pumps the ball forward, but that should meet Felinity over there. He gets it to the ponytail of Norville Williams. As there seems to be a slight injury to the number 10, Joe Sutton. He was limping around, but he's got up. Throwing been taken quickly. It's Miles with it. Back to Norville Williams on the far side by the turnstiles. Still Norville Williams is doing well, but he won't keep that in. And that harmlessly goes out for a goal kick. Referee just checking, I think, the injury. He's down in the 6-yard box. He's limping around a little bit. Referee going over now to see him. Aaron O'Connor has joined Marcus Law and Richard Laverty down there. Laverty down there on the down here. But, he'll be back.
It's about time actually thinking about it, but Kettering probably made a change or two.
Well, yes, give a few run out as he's saying that. Ben Toseland's has taken off his tabard. Flick on there and away goes Rhys Honus, and under challenge there from Stephen Shaw, he puts the ball over the bar, and Kettering do indeed a good preempt there from Gary Foreman. Indeed, it's going to be Ben Toseland coming on. A good shift from Meikle, and Ben Toseland coming on for Kettering, and gives us a bit of a different attacking option. We know what he can do going forward. Defensively, probably needs to be a little bit more aware, but certainly is a threat going forward, and
Slotted in at left back. Kelly
is going forward. Yeah, so Towers gets the ball back to Paul White, takes a touch, plays it to Ben Toseland, gets his first touch of the afternoon, traps it well, it goes forward. And his first touch is to slice the ball out of play. That was ugly, wasn't it? For reminded me of Tom Knowles' first attempt with the ball when he came on at Stourbridge. Thankfully, his fourth one was a beauty.
Great afternoon at Stourbridge for any Kettering Town fan, especially if you were there to witness the scenes.
So we're still only at 2-0, and with 3/4 of this game have gone. That is Ben Milne flicking the ball through, but done it underneath it. Gets the ball to Norville Williams. Norville Williams over the halfway line on the far side, being chased down by Ben Milne. Norville Williams with a bit of pace here, showing some attacking flair. Does well. He beats one Kettering player, beats another. He's going to go through all the way here, and just runs out of pace. He's been booked. Booked for diving. I think he
did go down after he'd lost control of the ball.
Yeah, he was doing very well at that point. He beat 3 or 4 players. There was some melee players in there. Then decided to do a platoon impression and go down.
Shame, actually, because if there's one player that for Sydney I thought has had a decent game and looked a good player, it's him.
Yeah, he has certainly done well. As I say, I think Joe Hood also has done really well. Yeah.
Players for Sydney, which says a lot really about the game.
Yep, only 2-0 to Kettering at the moment. Paul White takes. Just heard some more disappointing news, as I mentioned that, as Royston 2, Stourbridge 2. So the fight back is on. And the referee again is causing a bit of controversy with another hopeless decision. So Heck of a game going on down there at Royston. A few disappointed faces up here on the gantry. Ball back with Paul White. Kettering, though, can only do what they can do. It's in Kettering's hand, and it is good little work there from Toseland, who's running down this left-hand side. He's got 4 or 5. He's down into the final third. He's been knocked off the ball, and the referee once again has got it wrong as 2 players bundle down Toseland, and yet the referee gives it the other way. And the final substitution for St Neots, Ben Yeomans.
Marcus Law wants to make a substitution. He wants to substitute the referee.
Yeomans for Sutton is the final. Marcus is trying to get attention of none of it. Of course, referees are never wrong, aren't they? Referees are never wrong. I am God. This one has been awfully God, hasn't he?
It's just perplexing some of the decisions he's made this afternoon. I mean, none of them are so crucial decisions, so, you know, he's not thankful about that. It's on the halfway line. Hood forward towards Ben Yeomans, being shepherded away into the corner. Ball breaks to Michael Rickman. Plays it long towards the halfway line. Dan Holman holds it up inside. Hood. Ball forward is intercepted by Rickens. Stones to clear long. Towards Holman. Heads it out for a to Kettering. It's taken quickly by Holman to Storer. Storer finds Holman. Back to Storer and back to Holman. Good interplay between the 2 Kettering players, but the last attempt at that interplay comes to nothing. The ball is cleared all the way.
Next one!
It's long. The head tennis going on. The referee is the decision. This time it's a free kick to St Neots on the edge of the centre circle. Foot up, I think that was for Gary Storer.
Well, with this ref, you're never really quite sure, are you, what it could be?
No, we're guessing.
And Brett Solkin is getting ready to come on. Kettering Angel, will he add to his goal tally of 114 career goals? It'd be nice if he could. Still 2-0 to Kettering as the ball goes out of play for a Kettering Town goal kick. And some scores coming in. Still it's Biggleswade 1, Banbury 1, Barwell 1, Diamonds 1, Kettering 2, St Neots. Still, of course, it's Needham Market 1, Colville 0, Royston 2, Stourbridge 2, St Ives 0, Alfchurch 2, Stafford 0, Kings Lynn Town 1. Stratford even 0, Kings Lynn Town 1. So Stourbridge have fought their way back from being 2-0 down. And it is Paul White getting the ball back into play, flicked onto Storer. There's only Honus up front. Honus has the ball, he's onside. He's got 3 round him. Holman joins in along with Ben Milnes. It's flicked through to Ben Milnes. Milnes back to Holman. Holman down by the byline. Nowhere to go though. Has to hero. That man out there.